like you're saying, we're coming into a public space.
Mm-hmm.
We need to constantly be checking with ourselves. How am I
We
smelling?
need to be aware. Because if somebody is dancing with me and they're going,
Whoa.
okay.
Thank you for clarifying. I didn't realize that's what you meant.
Why do you guys smell weird all the time? I don't understand.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Welcome back to Staying Grounded. I'm Melody.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm John.
And here we talk about all things tango, Argentine.
Comfortable and uncomfortable things.
Yeah, today might be a little, we're going to talk about some of the awkward.
Yeah, this one's hard.
Okay.
I don't have any answers for this one.
Yeah. So, all right. So today we're talking about communication, like when in class it's really uncomfortable, or maybe you're dancing with someone and they're doing something that hurts, or you get into the embrace and an aroma just wafts into your
or even before the embrace.
Oh yeah, you already accepted the cabaseo and they're walking over
and you're just like, oh, what did I?
Or it's the cologne.
Or is it too strong? Yeah. Some people
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay, I want to just preface this. Okay, sometimes it's not their fault, especially on the leader's part because of the way we dance.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's remnant BO
from us.
from a follower's armpit. That totally happens.
Okay, so wait. We're going to talk about both so the whole topic today is how do we share when we are uncomfortable, whether it's physically or hygiene related?
Some part of our senses is disturbed.
Okay. When our senses are disturbed.
Or just something that you think your partner would want to know.
Yeah. Okay. So can I just say, like, I am always paranoid that like I have bad breath because we are like dancing at heights that like it's really and you've been in that embrace before. I mean, there is a local dancer I just don't dance with, not because of the quality of their dance, but because there was just something off-putting on the aroma of their breath. And so I chew gum or have a mint almost the entire milonga, which I know is really actually not good for like my microbiome. Yeah. Oh yeah. I always have a piece of gum in my mouth. Almost always.
And it can be so hard because when you're in the middle of the night and you're doing XYZ things or you haven't spoken in a while, and then you open your mouth and it's like, oh God. And then for me, especially when I know it's happening and I can't address it right away, I try to like look away or talk to the side. And then like the person's like, what? What did you say? And I'm like,
yes.
I'm turning away intentionally.
Yeah. Well, and I have been in the situation, and I think this is an appropriate thing to do, where I was dancing with a leader, and in this case, they were fasting. So like, you know, hungry breath, right? Hungry breath is not pleasant. And John and I are very honest with each other. We'll be like, hey, you got hungry breath right now, which I'm always grateful for. But this leader was like, oh, I'm fasting and I'm really self-conscious. So they were standing a little bit away while we were like not dancing together. And then I think that they were intentionally keeping their mouth closed to make sure that like that hungry breath was not a thing.
Yeah.
But what do we do when it is unpleasant? Is it a better course of action to say something or to just not dance with the person? Because like I said,
is it our place? You know, I feel like the onus is on the person and not on the person experiencing it, unfortunately. Meaning the onus should be like you're saying, we're coming into a public space. We need to constantly be checking with ourselves. How am I smelling?
Need to be aware.
Check with someone next to me. Hey, if you have a friend that's, you trust, or even if you don't trust, go to the bathroom, sniff underneath your arm, check your breath, like every couple of hours, I think first the awareness has to be on each individual.
Okay, but what?
And of course, yes. Then if you yourself are the one that's now experiencing it, do you say something to that person? I think it really varies on your relationship with them.
Yeah. So I know that there are cultures that don't wear deodorant, right? It's not a standard part of hygiene. And here in the US, like we do wear deodorant. There are also some cultures that don't need deodorant. So I'm talking about cultures with strong body odors, or or there's some physiology where when you eat something, your whole body smells like it. There are definitely, like, there's a type of oil that is produced by our skin, and not all ethnicities have this.
Or even just forget ethnicities. How about, look, I get it, organic, safe, aluminum free, paraben free, and all this good stuff is good, but sometimes like that stuff just isn't as effective. And then
some of them, or some people just don't want to use them at all.
right.
Although, okay, so I bend toward the crunchier. I do use more natural products, but I also, again, I'm like hyper vigilant, and you will catch me like checking. I reapply, and I was trying to go deodorant free for a while, but I would like constantly wash. I would go use the bathroom and wash. Or like I was using magnesium oil. That's a natural.
So then you have to compensate.
You have to compensate. You have to check, but you can become nose blind. So that's the thing. Like if you live in an area, let's say this is a different scenario, but if you live in an area with a lot of pig farms, for example, the first time you go into that area, it's like wildly offensive to your nose, but you acclimate and then you stop smelling it. So what if you're nose blind and nobody is ever saying this to you? Like, oh, the reason I'm not dancing with you is because you are leaving a trail of your body on my arm, right? So this totally exists. So how do we approach this? What do we say? Because like, what's a better
throw
experience?
it back to John. What's the answer, John?
Yeah. Oh, because he's most often leading, right? And that armpit is on his arm.
Yeah. So yeah, coming to me to answer the hard questions. So a couple of things, right? So personally, I tried to obviously maintain hygiene. It's important. I do have the benefit of being Asian, so I have that. I don't have body odor thing, so I've never used deodorant in my life.
I'm sorry, wait, what? You've never? What?
Yeah, I've never
so
applied.
Even to this day?
Okay, can we talk about, I feel like we've mentioned this before, but like 95% of people of Asian ethnicity specifically, there's a difference in their sweat oil glands. This is fascinating. So their sweat oil glands produce more oil, but it is not the same kind of oil. So bacteria do not break it down. So they actually don't need to they don't produce the body odor. It takes him he can wear the same shirt for like 2 weeks. It's weird. It's amazing on my end. It's amazing.
What level of benefit is that?
There are other ethnicities that produce less oil, but it's the oil that bacteria will consume, and their byproduct is actually what we smell. So like, I need deodorant. I need it.
Yeah.
Right? But
yeah, the rest
he doesn't. And it's
the regular world. That is like a magic.
Oh, I know. Like
superpower.
No, I didn't
trick to have.
But this is also what I'm used to, right? So I didn't realize this was kind of a big deal until way later in life. Like if I had friends in high school that was like, why do you guys smell weird all the time? It's like, I don't understand. Like I remember,
do you ever like just pretend to do it, like just to be like, hey, I'm part of the rest of the crew. I can.
No. I was just like, why would I buy this thing? Like, why do people?
Sports, right? If you had played sports,
no, I played basketball.
Like in the locker room, you didn't like pretend to do it so other people won't like.
No, but he will dance and his shirt will be like soaked in sweat. And then he literally could wear that shirt the next day. And I'm super sensitive to smells. Like I was in a previous relationship with someone who had the reverse. Like they ate an onion, they smelled like an onion for 3 days. And it to me was like nails on chalkboard. This man, like I'm so sensitive. No, he smells good all the time. It's amazing.
So
plug for dating
followers,
guys.
if you
anyway, we're gonna talk about dating and Tango
when
later.
you see John in the room, followers, when you
later.
see John in the room, you know it's gonna be a good experience. So just get in on that
for your nose at least. Well, I can't promise.
Oh,
anything.
come on.
Well, it depends on who I danced with before, right?
So that's the other thing. So that's the question. If you dance with someone, and their armpit is on your shirt.
Okay, but wait.
But then if you're probably more likely smelling other people than we're smelling you. So what do you do, John? Do you just
okay?
Keep your mouth shut?
This is also part of it. I'm also 6'4", right? So I'm usually quite a bit taller than the follow. And so most often what I am smelling, if I'm smelling anything, is any sort of hair product that goes into it, which tends to be, smells pretty good usually.
Floral.
Yeah. But I do notice, like the thing you're talking about is if the follow has their arm draped over my right side, I sometimes like I turn my head to the right and it's like, ooh, It's a little something going on there.
But reaction again.
Ooh. And but also and also like stuff like makeup and lipstick will transfer onto my
Yeah,
shirt.
totally.
So
He'll have
that
lipstick
which
sometimes.
is which is anyway, that's a whole
And
different.
just so you know, by the way, with the lipstick, like I'm sure a lot of women do what I do also, where I'm like this. I'm trying to keep my mouth open.
really?
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to put my mouth on the lip.
Oh,
And it's so uncomfortable. I try to like turn my head, and I'm like, I can't breathe. What am I doing?
Yeah.
nope, never done that. Nope,
Um,
nope. But that's kind of you.
I also very intentionally just try to keep my mouth closed as much as I can when I'm dancing, and not well, for the breath aspect of it, but also because again I'm so much taller, hair starts flying in my face and my mouth is open. It's like
Like the last time we danced. I think you caught a stray curl.
right, you're doing that for like 30 seconds. It's like, oh, this is this is not part of any class I took. So just from my own experience, I feel like there are a couple things I do. In general, so I don't know that if I've ever said anything to someone I didn't know particularly well, that there was something off, like smell wise or anything. I have, well, I have on a very small handful of occasions, I'll notice like a follow their top slides down too far, and then I'll like there's one time that, like it was like in my mind, like really this memory is baked in, like where I noticed this was happening.
Well, he's like, who, where?
This was before I met you, and then
Okay,
I like
good.
walked up to her like really close, so like to block anything, and I was like, hey, you gotta pull up your top.
Well, I'm sure she was appreciative.
Sorry, I whispered. I don't know if you guys heard.
I can
but,
hear you.
But
Yeah.
no, I whispered to her for her to pull up her top, and
Mhm.
then she was like, oh my god, thank you so much. So like that was kind
Was
of
that was that like a just too much cleavage situation, or was that like a
no
nip
no.
slip?
It was like full on
Nip-
her
nip- nip-
her nipple was out.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
why you always bury the lead, John? Just say the thing up front.
Okay,
man.
fine. Her she wasn't a particularly like busty lady, and like I guess her top was a little loose, like it was meant for someone that had a little bit more going on there. So like it slid down, and then I was like, oh hey, like you got to pull that up. Like this
Yeah.
is not good. So yeah, no, but like stuff like that, 100%.
I guess I couldn't tell you what to say to other people, but I can say if it was me, how I might appreciate hearing it.
Yeah.
And I think something maybe something like, hey, you might want to consider a breath mint. Just, just for your something kind of a little funny, a little quirky, a little like it doesn't have, or whatever way. I don't know. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
No, I
well,
think
okay,
I think.
but here's the
but-
question: is like if you see somebody and they have lettuce between their teeth, for example,
Right. You would say,
would you? Because one time I was at a Malanga for like 2 hours, and
you have something.
yeah, like
But that
like
seems like
I
an
would
easy
I would
fix.
so prefer that.
I
Like,
know, but
just
it's such
say
a
it.
different kind of fix. Like armpit and breath is like a big fix. Now, if you do come to Army Lunga, we do have
That's
toothbrushes
right.
Well,
and
okay.
deodorants.
But a couple things, right? So like one, I think it's very dependent on how you approach this conversation, right? Like there are different ways you can say it, which can be perceived differently. Do you try to address it at the moment, like while you're dancing between songs, or is it kind of like a
No.
get off the floor and then it's like, hey,
It totally depends on the person.
Not if you're still
not while
gonna
you're
be
dancing, because then
dancing
they're going to
with
be
them
thinking about it.
no,
the
sorry.
whole time.
I don't mean like when you're actually dancing, like in the middle of the song.
Oh,
like
you mean at the Malanga?
no, at the Malanga,
In between.
like but between songs. Like
But
you're-
no, I would say no, because you
the
still
rest
have
of the
to.
tanda.
You still have the rest of the songs to go.
Yeah.
So maybe after, as you're walking off, then you can say and like run away.
Yeah. Well, okay, but it depends who it is. Like I danced with a person who was a smoker. Nothing against smokers, but like if you're gonna smoke, you need a jacket or something that you take off when you're dancing, right? And I will actively avoid people that smoke in the clothes they dance in, because I don't.
Right.
It's gross to me. So like I just won't dance with them if they're wearing the same jacket they're dancing in. and if like I have friends that do smoke and they bring a spray that does a very good job of masking it. So no, I'm not going to say anything to them because it's like a personal choice. And if I know that in one case, I actually know someone is offended because they are a smoker. They wear those clothes, they don't spray anything, and I don't dance with them. And they think it's because I'm judging their dancing. And I'm like, well, I don't know you that well. Like, I don't need to go tell you that, like, well, right. But if it is a friend and we have a relationship, or if it's someone that I really would like to be able to dance with and I know someone else is close with them, I may talk to the other person and be like, hey, do you have this kind of relationship you could talk to them? That's the way I would approach it.
That's a good.
But I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't say it myself.
I think there's also too the in addition to like, so we've covered smelling. I kind of want to talk about panting.
Oh, just like breathing, panting?
Breathing.
Okay.
Like,
is this something you experience?
Yeah, this one's a tough one, right? Because
you're sensitive to sounds though.
I am.
Yeah.
But also too when you're not even a smelly breath, but if I have to feel someone's warm air coming out of their mouth and touching my face, even if it doesn't smell bad, I'm just like.
So hold on. Do you mean like they're like physically working hard and they're kind of catching their breath?
Yeah, it's like
okay.
Oh yeah,
that's also tough. And I don't know. It's like I'm not gonna tell them stop breathing, right? But that's a hard one. And I think like if you feel like you are, unless you're both in it together and you're both like breathing, there are moments where you can breathe together through like the physical exertion of the movements. But if it's just you, then maybe, I don't know, open the embrace a little bit more, be considerate of how, especially if you're taller, be considerate of the downward trajectory of the breath hitting the follower's face or the leader's face.
Okay, so that's actually, I'm glad you brought this up because I've been sort of playing around with this idea. So I've never thought of tango as being physically intense enough to require, like catching my breath, you know what I mean? To that degree.
Really?
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm breathing hard, like, but I can breathe through my nose, I'm not like, I'm not like going for a run or anything, right?
It depends.
Oh no, to be fair, like I think we as follows we move much more often,
right,
than the leaders do because we're going around them. So there's like a lot more time when a leader is stationary and just moving like in their angle. But there have been milongas where I had to sit for 2 songs because like it was so physically demanding that my stomach started to hurt.
That's on you, John, because you're the only one she does.
No. That's totally on me. But usually the follower is shorter than the lead usually, and panting issues.
Well, no. I try to keep my mouth closed still, but like there have been times where I had to like.
I mean, there's some leaders that they're doing things, they're moving,
they're like racing around the floor.
That's it's either like they're unnecessarily racing around the floor, or they're very much actively engaged in a super dynamic moment. And it comes across.
So
or like it depends on how fit you are physically as well.
Yeah.
Like I know when I was 55 pounds heavier, it took a lot more exertion to move my body. So now it's much easier. Like it's way easier now that I've lost weight. But like, for sure, I could only dance every other tanda. Like I was panting. I don't think I was panting. You were trying to dance every
tanda in the first place.
Okay, well,
only every other one.
But but my question is, do you think that there's some responsibility for dancers to what's the
I would say read people's bodies language.
No. I mean, is there some amount of responsibility to like maintain your physical health, like so that you can
not if no.
I mean, it's not your main squeeze.
No. I'm just gonna say no. There is not some responsibility because tango can work for you if you're 90 years old and like you're very limited physical capacity. And I think tango also can work for you if you are out of shape or in an unhealthy place. I hope that it is not something that you suddenly are barred because you're going through some life circumstance. We'll talk about this in a later episode of like transitions of life, and like we go through different phases of life. So I think probably you end up choosing different partners. Like you end up choosing partners that are not racing around the floor if you're not in a place. And I mostly only danced with John when I was not as physically healthy because like I just couldn't, like, if somebody was going to race me around the floor and then my stomach hurt for 3 tandas, like, I would much rather be able to say to my partner, like, okay, I'm not feeling well. Like, can we just, like, walk gently?
Yeah.
You know? So, like, no. Tango can work for everybody in different phases of life.
When does it, it's interesting though, because a lot of these things we're talking about to some extent is out of someone's control. Let's say there's ways to mitigate it, but it's out of your control, right? How do we discuss,
How do we?
there's like comfort. Okay, so there's discomfort because someone just can't control it, whether it's their body or maybe even physically, they haven't figured out the right technique to do certain things. And there's discomfort just because it's like, you just aren't trying hard enough. No, I shouldn't say that.
No, or you're just not aware. You're not aware. Like, I do think some of it is awareness. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so as
Like with the squeezing in one arm, like one thing
Sure.
leaders don't realize that y'all do as a collective.
it's like,
It's like you will squeeze and then somehow still expect us to rotate and pivot and dissociate. And I'm like, no, bruv, I cannot move my body if you're
Yeah.
holding me this tight.
Yeah.
Like, I need some space.
or like sometimes, and this is both roles, can really just put too much tension in the open arm. And then like I have had tandas where my shoulder hurt. As a leader, I've had tandas where I was like,
Especially as a leader.
I cannot dance with that.
When I'm
person
leading,
again.
I'm like, and I'll try to drop my arm. I'll just relax it. And I'm like trying to disengage it because I'm like, I can't fight against this. This is too hard.
Okay, so like if we're talking about, let's go back. Aromas, smells, I do think we should address them if we have the kind of relationship, or we can subtly acknowledge. I think as teachers, we try to put out like mints and make sure, and we've made the stuff available in the bathroom now. So there's some personal responsibility that people have to be aware of. And like, let's wear deodorant. Let's just all agree, if you need deodorant, wear deodorant. If you don't want to wear deodorant, then you gotta be in the bathroom washing your armpits, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I applaud so much the guys that come with extra shirts and they change throughout the milonga. Like, it's like, that's what I'm talking about. Having, like you're saying, having self-awareness to know like this is a thing about you. And so come prepared to be in a social space. Like it's so wonderful. And you guys know who you are. So thank you very much for doing it.
Yes. But I do want to say, like, sometimes we are in that situation where like you just didn't expect that the milonga was going to be like 100% humidity. Okay. And we all should be understanding in those moments. But if this is like standard milonga, like, then yes, we have to be aware. But then there's the things that we're probably not as aware, and that's the physical stuff. That's like if somebody's pushing your arm and it's really uncomfortable, what do you do?
Yes.
What if the person you're dancing with has been dancing for over 15 years and you know this, and there's something that is hurting you? Do you say something?
I think this is where it's already part of our nature to use more body cues than verbal cues in tango, right? Like we ask using our body cues. We don't typically ask verbally so much. So I think it's just like awareness of what does it feel like when someone's trying to adjust because of something that you might be doing that's making them feel discomfort, and being aware of that and trying to adjust, or even then in between the songs, like say, oh, I'm so sorry. Was I pushing too much? But like if I'm following and you feel my arm really disengaging, or you feel me constantly readjusting, or you feel like she was moving fine, now all of a sudden it takes more effort for her to move, there's probably something that I'm doing to like be a little bit more defensive.
Yeah.
Then adjust, or in between the songs, now I think
then
to your point, then you can say, oh, was that okay? Do you feel okay? Yeah. Like, I think it's okay. Or if you're the leader, I remember a dear friend of mine said this to me once. It was so sweet. And he was like, I'm having shoulder problems. Do you just mind? I just need a little bit less like holds here. Because back in the day, and maybe every now and then I still do it, I used to like clamp down in my underneath here. And I had no idea until, and so in that moment, I felt like, oh, okay, he's not good. Let me adjust myself. And it was such a beautiful way that
That was
I didn't.
slick.
It was very slick.
slick.
Until I realized later, I was like, oh, I see what he did.
Yeah.
So if you don't feel comfortable like confronting someone about it,
Well, and for the leaders, if you keep leading a baleo and she clearly is not
Yes.
doing it, she or he, or you keep leading a gancho and they're choosing to not engage
Yes.
in that movement, take the hint.
if your lead
Like,
is
you have to be
super
aware.
clear and the follower still isn't going to the heights of the baleo or the depth of the gancho, it's usually
There's
intentional.
a reason. Yeah. So just stop doing it. Like, I was dancing with someone and they led a baleo. I did it once. They led another one. I was like, no, I don't want to do 50 high baleos. First of all, this is a packed floor. Like, this is making me uncomfortable. Right. So I stopped doing it. I did low, small baleos. And in between songs, they were like, oh, you don't trust me. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do baleo after baleo after baleo. First of all, because of my back. Second of all, like, I know that there's somebody 2 feet behind me. I don't really want to be responsible for hurting them, right? I don't dance with that person, right? So, like, take the hint and maybe adjust because you might be losing partners.
And I love that, right? Because that person clearly was aware. So it's like you feel when your
Yeah.
partner is uncomfortable about something. Don't
Yeah.
ignore it.
Yes. Yeah. So, and like, if you're unsure, if you're like, oh, you know what, maybe I thought I was leading something, am I doing something wrong? That's okay to ask, but also don't assume that it's the other person.
Yes.
That is, I feel like in class, this is actually something that is really important. In class, when you're leading something and they're not doing it, and you go, they're broken. They can't do it. And it's like, no.
Probably first,
Yeah.
look inside.
Yeah, look inside, look at yourself first.
Okay, so let's say I did all the right things and I was very kind in how I communicated. Maybe I started with some bodily cues. Maybe it wasn't coming through. Maybe it finally does get through, whatever it is. And now the reaction instead of what I would expect a reaction to be, oh, okay, got it, totally understood. Like, I'll try to adjust. Maybe I don't dance with you again because I think your request was absurd. That's on me at the end of the day, right? Mm-hmm. But what happens if my reaction is like, what? I don't do that. You're out of your mind.
Oh.
Okay, maybe not those words, but a very defensive reaction. Do you try to argue with the person? You just let it drop, and once again, they are now off of your list.
Ultimately, we are all only in control of our own actions and reactions to things, right? So we can only control ourselves. We can try to give something gently. If we are being defensive, I think it's really important to be introspective, especially like Dunning-Kruger, like, we grow and then we think we're better than we are. And then we are like, oh crap, I'm not nearly as good as I thought I was. And like, it's a continual cycle in Tango, right? It's continually humbling. Hopefully it's continually humbling so we can keep growing, right? So if we ever think that we are like, oh, I am the best, like, that should be a red flag, period. Like, there's always space to grow. And even if you think you're the best, like, our bodies constantly age and change. So like, there's always something to work on. So I think that's red flag number one. But then if like somebody else is being defensive, we can only control ourselves. Like, that's our choice. And like, if they can't take the feedback, nobody's entitled to a dance with anyone else. If it's someone you have a personal relationship with, I think awkward and uncomfortable conversations are most often always worth it. I think not in the middle of a tanda, but outside of it, like creating space to have these conversations, to know people, and to be like, you know what, the reason is XYZ on what I am feeling, not on what you're doing, on what I am feeling. Like, this feels uncomfortable to me as a way of like my own perception, and then they can do what they want to do. If they want to say like, oh, could we work on that? A practice space is a great place. But, and then it's up to us to be like, well, we know that that's the way that they are. So, and it's the way that they dance. Do I want to dance with them? That's our choice, right? And it's like such a weird gray area because we have different relationships with every single person, different levels of closeness with every single person. So like, whether you even want to broach it with somebody or not, there are lots of people that you might choose not to dance with because you just don't have that kind of relationship with them that you could broach it. And if you do feel that you can broach it and they don't react the way that you want, again, we can only control ourselves.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes I wish, especially if it's something that's more stylistic. So sometimes it's less technique and more like, I choose to do this because I enjoy doing this. And it's weird because I would never put someone else in the position. But for me personally, Amanda Garley, if there's ever a person that has danced with me or would like to dance with me and wonder maybe why I don't dance with them, like, for me, the door is open. Come and ask. I will never say, well, I will never initiate that to say, oh, I don't like this style of dance. I prefer XYZ. But if you're interested, please feel free to come and ask me. Be like, I noticed, sometimes I try to compensate you for milongas. You never really like pick on it. Like, can I ask why? I know that's such like a big faux pas, right? Like, don't do that to anybody. But for me, you can ask because I'm like, oh, perfect. Now we can have a conversation about this. And a friend of mine, we had that happen recently, and I will admit, at first, I was like, oh crap, what do I say now? But we had a very honest conversation. We realized it was stylistic, what I like to do versus what he liked to do. And then he made the decision to say, well, okay, I can either choose to just continue not dancing with you for this style because I'm not going to change my style. But then he was like, I'm curious to actually explore that other style. And so he did some things to like get that style to work with me. And I thought it was very beautiful.
Yeah.
Not required, of course, not anything, but it just opens you up to other things that you might not be aware of because you have your style, especially as a leader, that you don't change so much.
It's interesting because like I can think of one person that I actually enjoy dancing with and I enjoy watching. But then for some reason at some point when they started dancing with me, it was always very theatrical. And I was like, I don't want to perform. I actually like this is like something that I find really difficult about teaching and about being someone who's danced for a long time is that people will watch you when you're dancing. And I know that like that's an important part of the community is like to inspire other people. But when I'm dancing for my own personal, like I don't want people watching, right? And if somebody is dancing in a very theatrical, exaggerated way, like that, I'm going to avoid their cabeceo because I don't want to perform on the social dance
And you
floor.
never see them do that with other people?
I do see them do it with other people, but I also see them dance not in that way with other people. So I'm like, maybe if I accept the cabeceo this time, it's not going to be theatrical. And then at some point I just gave up because it was always theatrical. And I want to feel that we're connected and that we're dancing together and not for the people watching, right? So I don't know, but I've never broached the conversation. I've never said like, hey, could we dance in this way? Because I like when we dance in this way. Yeah. Maybe I should.
I wish there were ways we could just talk about this and not have it be so awkward.
I know, it is awkward.
And it's not like a request. It's just like, FYI, here are my preferences in case you didn't notice.
Yeah.
If you would like to choose any of them, please. If not, then we can also still dance. And it's just it's not going to be the same, but it's fine.
Yes. Well, and it's interesting. I know we're going to have a conversation about competitions. I do think the way you dance for a competition is different than the way you dance for a social setting. And that actually is the thing. That's like that when I'm dancing socially, I'm never dancing for the people watching. Yeah. And if I ever feel like my partner is dancing for the people watching, it's off-putting to me.
I will say, I think there's another class or group or type of people or moments where, let's say someone looks like they're doing very big movements and it's like a lot of interesting things going on. There are people that might be doing it for show, but there are also people who might just be doing it because they have this intellectual curiosity about tango and they love pushing boundaries. And sometimes I think those people sort of get bundled up with like, you're just doing this for show. And it's like, no, I'm really interested in this and I've learned this new thing and I want to like explore it and see how it works. How do I fit it into the social dancing? I think sometimes I get sensitive, especially if someone's like, oh, you're very like athletic dancer. You like, I get the, like you do all this, but sometimes the music is right. The energy is right. And like, I could care less if we're alone or there's 5-10 people watching. but it's really about me and the partner trying really interesting things that we're both interested in more. It's more about that than let's do it in a way for other people to see it.
Okay, so it's really interesting. To me, saying dancing for a competition or dancing in a theatrical or a scenario way actually isn't about the moves.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the expression of here, what's happening here. Because if somebody is dancing with me and they're going,
whoa.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying. I didn't realize that's what you meant.
That I'm not talking about colgadas. I'm not talking about no. Actually, I would call that creative, and I really enjoy pushing the boundaries creatively. I can think of people that are going to push me. And insert.
You mean like
maybe vocabulary that I don't dance as often. That's not what I'm talking about.
You mean like faux emotion.
Faux emotion. Faux motion.
Faux motion. Don't faux motion, people.
Yes, yeah. So like that's what I'm talking about. Or like,
that really happens.
Yeah.
I need to watch the dance floor more. Who are these people?
Or even like somebody told me at the end of a song, somebody bit their neck.
What?
And I was like, please don't ever dance with that person again. Like, stop. And if I ever see that person here, I'm going to make it really clear, like they are out if they ever do this. That's so inappropriate. But yes, I can think of multiple people. But again, that's my personal preference, right? And I know that there are people
I think that's a lot of people's personal preference.
No, actually, no. We talked about why people dance tango. There are some people that dance for that emotion or faux emotion or whatever, for the theatrical nature of it.
I have to say followers do the same.
Yeah.
When I lead some followers and I'm just like, this was just a very simple step and they're just like, wah! And I'm like, what's going on? What's happening?
So, but do you say something?
No, I just
don't dance.
Make the steps even more simpler and I just stand still.
Okay.
So I'm like,
so you try to compensate.
I just reduce energy and just like drop down in visibility. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. It's so hard because it's so disconnected from what we're doing. It's like you're just on your own doing something. And I'm like, I didn't even lead that. But okay. Or like the energy is like soft and you're just like, and I'm like, oh, why?
Okay, so here's my proposal. We're getting to wrap it up. Okay, I think there are some I do have some. Okay. I didn't think I would have any suggestions, but I think I do. I think my one suggestion is, and maybe this is my own preference, is I tend to I will dance with many more people at a practica than I will at a milonga. Mm-hmm. And because I will test the waters and see, because at a practica, if I'm getting physically hurt, either as a lead or follow, I can be like, thank you so much, right? One song, it's fine. Mm-hmm. Or I can say, are you working on something? Can I share what I'm feeling? And if they're open to that feedback, that's an appropriate space. I don't think at a milonga that's an appropriate space. So I think that's one. And I think two is I will try to tease out where they have other relationships. So if I can tell that they're close, if they're the lone wolf and they come in, they don't talk to anybody, obviously you can't do this. But I would probably, if it was somebody I really wanted to dance with, I would try to say, hey, could I share what I'm feeling at the end of a tanda if this becomes a repeated thing, right? And I have had people test that with me as well. But I think we all have to be on our own, it's our onus to be does my breath smell good? Did I brush my teeth? Did I choose to not eat garlic chives? So my husband doesn't eat garlic chives when we're dancing. He saves it for non-dancing days. Because his mouth is breathing right there, right? But also, if we did have Indian food, let's have some mouthwash or something, some gum. And I love Indian food so much. Yes, I love Indian food too. But chew some gum then, right? So we have to all be responsible for that.
Same with African food too. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
they're gonna smell this later.
and then practicas are a really important part of a community.
Yeah,
use the practicas. You have to go and you have to treat them not like a milonga. Yeah. It's a practice space. You have to be understanding that this is where we talk about those awkward and uncomfortable moments and be open, and we talk about it from our own feelings. Yeah. I think that would be my suggestion if there's anything.
I think that wraps it up very nicely.
Yeah.
Before John just shuts off the camera.
Yeah. And for those who are wondering why we're not letting John talk, he's there. We had a technical issue and one of our cameras overheated.
Yeah, my camera died. But I actually, you know what? So I could just turn it off whenever. But No, a quick anecdote. This is just the whole food smelling thing. I had a friend, this is a long time ago, who was telling me that she danced with someone, and then she got an embrace, and it's like, oh man, this guy smelled so intensely of Chinese food. I was like, I've never associated that with like Indian, maybe. And it's like, oh, this is wild. There's so many things that
Yeah.
can bother people.
Yeah, there's the green chives, the garlic chives are quite pungent. Like no matter what you do, or like there are foods I will not eat because I know it's gonna make me burp and like the remnants of that food, and so I will not eat them on
I
days I'm
have
dancing.
choked on burps before trying to like, and you're in that tight close embrace. I'm just like trying to turn my head because I feel like it's coming out. And I'm just like,
Yeah, I know.
and then I have to hold my breath because if you breathe out, the smell also goes out.
Yeah. So just don't like save it for non-dancing days. That's it. You know, I mean, we can't control everything, but what we can control, we should be considerate. Yeah.
Or to hydrate more.
Hydrate more. Sure.
I'm guessing.
Sure. Yeah.
That probably helps.
I think so. All right.
Okay.
Well, we have to wrap it up and go on to the next one. So like and subscribe.
If you've seen this, feel free to explore what it means to share your thoughts and communicate with people in a what's the word, in a constructive way.
Yes.
Focusing on your own feelings.
Yeah. Or if you had an awkward conversation.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. Or if you've navigated this. If you've
unlock,
navigated this.
Please tell us so we can also go try it.
Yeah, because we're all so awkward.
Yeah. I still haven't figured it out yet. I can't say anything.
Yeah. All right. Like and subscribe. Catch us on the next one.
And real quick, we're bringing Murat Erdemsel to DC last weekend of May. Stay tuned for details, but just let anyone know.
Yes, and join us.
Stay tuned for details.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.
Thanks for tuning in to Staying Grounded. If you like this episode, please subscribe and give us a like. We would love to hear from you in the comments, and we'll see you next time.